Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back for Week 16 of Hit the Books podcast. We're excited to bring you Week 16 of the NFL season here. As you may all know, the NHL is taking a break. The NBA is still going full blast, but NFL and the NHL are taking breaks here and there on some games. So I'm excited to see what happens here in the coming week or two after this Christmas holiday. What do you got for me, Huff?
Nothing much. Having some personal success over the past 2 weeks. 4-1 in the past 2 weeks on my individual card, team card. We brought it back last week, 1-0. Didn't have a lot of picks, but not going to force the picks. We liked the Chiefs -3. We took it, and they ended up covering for us in overtime. So we had a good weekend. I got fucking railed by the Buccaneers, losing outright 9-0. That was a brutal beat. You had the over. I had the Bucs with the points. Neither team even be able to put up 10 points on the board is just embarrassing, let alone one of them having a big donut on the board. So that being said, it could have been 5-0. It's all right, 4-1 past 2 weeks. Looking forward to this week, week 17 or 16, I believe. See what we can do here.
Awesome. Yeah, that Tampa Bay Saints game was rough. Like you said, I had the over. You had the minus
Bucks
10.5.
-10. Neither team even scored 10.
Insane. Just Vegas knows something.
I should have known fucking Saints +10. Tom Brady's now 0-4 against the Saints in the regular season.
Alrighty, and for our first Thursday night game, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the Tennessee Titans. We got the 49ers coming in this game favored at 3.5 points, the money line at -190, and the over-under at 44.5. San Francisco is 5-1 against the spread in its last 6, and Tennessee is also 5-1 straight up in its last 6 at home.
Coming into this game, San Francisco's 4-1 in their last 5, losing at Seattle, winning the other 4 past 2 weeks. They beat Atlanta at home, and then they beat Cincinnati in Cincinnati. Tennessee, on the other hand, they're coming off a loss to the Steelers on the road. Their only wins in their past 5 are against Jacksonville and the Saints, both on their home field. Just kind of things have not been going the right way for the Tennessee Titans, and a lot of that is due to the guys that they have on the injured list right now. They got guys like their star left tackle, Taylor Lewan's he's questionable for this game. Both their 1 and 2 receivers, A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. A.J. Brown's on the injured reserve still. Julio Jones got hurt in that game against the Steelers. They're going to be missing a couple guys on defense too. David Long, another notable name. They're just a banged-up team right now. Not to say that the 49ers don't have their own fair share of injuries. Elijah Mitchell, their starting running back, could be questionable for this game. So, I mean, he has 760 yards, 5 touchdowns on the year. It's not like he's an elite running back, but this offense is they kind of do whatever they want with Deebo Samuel and guys like that. I actually like the 49ers here in this game. I don't know if I'm going to give them the points, but I like that -190 money line maybe to throw it in a parlay to go lead me into Saturday with one of these other games.
I agree there. Both teams, like you said, having a lot of questionable players. I didn't realize this until you said that.
And Tennessee's are all notable players.
Absolutely, yeah.
I just think, with the 49ers on the road, they've been very good in prime time. I think they can win this game. I don't know if it's by more than four or more, but I definitely like them to win this game.
I think that 3.5 is like the perfect spread. Like it's going to be 3 or it's going to be 4.
Yeah, it's not. They're not going to blow them out, but they will win the game.
Absolutely. Alrighty, good stuff there for the Thursday night game. Let's move into Saturday. Midday, 4:30, Cleveland Browns at the Green Bay Packers. Got the Packers favored at -7, the money line at -330, and the over-under at 44. The total has gone over in 4 out of Cleveland's last 6 on the road. Cleveland is 2-5 straight up in its last 7 on the road. And Green Bay is 5-0 straight up and against the spread in its last 5 at home.
Yeah, I usually like to go with Green Bay's overs because they're kind of an explosive team. Saturday in Green Bay, the weather's going to be looking like it's going to be 28 degrees. Nice cold game for the Packers at home. I'm not seeing snow, but it's supposed to snow Thursday and Friday there, so there might be a little bit of that left on the ground. And especially with the state of the Browns are in right now, I believe Baker Mayfield should be back for this game. All their COVID players. Myles Garrett actually got hurt last game. He only had 3 tackles. That kind of helped boost TJ Watt's Defensive Player of the Year race. With him kind of not really doing much last week against the Raiders, but in this game, I think I like Packers -7 here. I just think back home, they get back home. I mean, they've been covering the Packers. I think they're maybe, if not, one of the best against the spread teams in the league. I think this number is going to get deeper for Green Bay as we kind of find out who's going to play and who's coming or who's not coming back and who is coming back for Cleveland. As far as the over/under, I think I like the over too. I took Green Bay in Baltimore last week over 43.5. That hit very easily. 31-30 was the final score. In this kind of game, I definitely think I like Green Bay -7, but it's hard to give the over whenever you're taking that many points because you also need Cleveland to be scoring points. Out of the two, I'd probably lean more towards the Packers -7.
Honestly, I couldn't agree more there. I have another trend here. Browns, no covers in the last 4 or in 7 out of the last 9. So not playing well. And like I said, Green Bay is 5-0 against the spread and straight up in their last 5 at home. So totally agree with you. I think Packers -7 is the move there.
Until the game when the Cowboys broke their streak of covering, I think since then they haven't. The Cowboys have been covering, but not as much as the Packers. I could be wrong on that, but I know the Packers and the Patriots have been 2 of the best teams against the spread this year. So with that being said, I'm comfortable laying 7 against the Browns.
I'm curious to see what comes up with COVID stuff and things like that with some of these games because I believe the Steelers and Chiefs game that we'll go over later, the line's been moving all over the place, I think.
The number that we're going to talk is not going to be the number that we see.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Which is kind of a shame. Alrighty, let's move forward. Saturday primetime game, the Indianapolis Colts at the Arizona Cardinals. Got the Cardinals favored at -1.5, money line at -118, and the over/under at 49.5. Colts money line at an even +100. Let's see what I got for this one. The total has gone under in 6 out of Arizona's last 7 against Indianapolis. Arizona is 10-4 straight up in its last 14, and Indianapolis is 5-0 against the spread in its last 5 on the road.
I'm looking something up right here real quick that I want to see a stat right now. Cardinals are giving up 322.8 yards per game. Rushing yards, they've given up 1,500 rushing yards over 15 weeks of the season. With that being said, one of the best, if not the best, running back in the NFL right now. Coming into your home barn, Jonathan Taylor's coming in. Dude has a touchdown every week, more than a touchdown games played, and I like his chances to get 100 yards and get in the end zone. So I don't know if the Cardinals are going to be able to contain him. That being said, I do like the Colts here to win this game.
I like +100. That's very intriguing. I think you could absolutely make some value out of that.
And it's in a dome. Cardinals I think they're on a 3-game losing streak. I want to double check myself on that. But as far as the over/under, that's definitely sitting a little higher. But I'd probably lean more towards the under. I think one of these teams is going to struggle to put the ball in the end zone, kind of be a field goal battle. But that definitely wouldn't be my play going into this. And yeah, the Cardinals, they're banged up too. I didn't realize this. They got James Conner's questionable, Zach Ertz questionable, and their third wide receiver, Rondale Moore, is going to be questionable for this game. I mean, that doesn't mean none of them are going to play. Colts 4-1 in their past 5. Their only loss to Tampa Bay, beating the hot Patriots. They beat the Texans, they beat the Bills, and they beat the Jaguars. So, and when they're playing inferior teams, they're definitely rolling and beating the Texans 31-0. Made that Patriots run defense that was supposedly so good. I had the Patriots, kind of killed me. Jonathan Taylor, that 68-yard run, that dude is just unbelievable right now. But Cardinals coming off two tough losses. The loss of the Rams on that Monday night or Sunday night game, and they lost to the Lions last week, 30-12. They're only 2-3 in their last 5, losing to Carolina, the Rams, and the Lions, all conference games. All can really come back to bite them, especially that one divisional loss. They beat the Bears and Seahawks too. I mean, 5-win, 4-win, 5-win teams. Not really anything impressive right now for me coming out of Arizona. I just think the stock was so high on them early in the year. After people were hitting them for plus 600 to win that division, and now it's starting to catch up to them why they were plus 600. They're the kind of team that they start hot. They have the ability to start hot, but I mean, that coach, he's a good coach, but it seems like a lot of people are starting to figure out their team and kind of what they're running. And I do like what the Colts are going to come in Arizona and do here. I think it's going to be a heavy dose of Jonathan Taylor. You're not going to be asking too much of Carson Wentz in a game like this when you can control the pace with a guy like that.
Good stuff, good stuff. That over-under sitting at 49.5. A little high, in my opinion. Don't know if I see it.
That's too high for me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an under. I think it's going to be... I don't know what the score's going to be, but it's going to be an under.
I think Arizona. I think it's close, but I think Indianapolis wins this game like 28-24. That hits the over. But I don't know.
Not too bad. No, you're right. I could see that.
I don't like taking that high of an over.
Can't disagree. Alrighty, next we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers. Our Sunday 1:00 game. Got the Buccaneers coming in this game favored at -11, the money line at -520, and the over/under at 44. Tampa Bay is 18-4 straight up in its last 22. Tampa Bay is also 4-1 against the spread in its last 5. And the total has gone over in the last 5 Carolina Panthers games.
This is a tough one. Tampa Bay coming off that tough loss to the Saints. Tom Brady known to not play well against the Saints since he's gotten to Tampa Bay, now 0-4 against them in the regular season. That being said, I really don't think they're going to have too much trouble putting the ball in the end zone and kicking field goals against Carolina Panthers. 11, they just keep getting big spreads, and it's just scary every week taking them, especially on the road. But I said it last week with Arizona going to Detroit. I think it could be 14-0 Cardinals before they even blink. Cardinals only scoring 12 points in that whole game. So it's definitely easier said than done, but I do like the Buccaneers to cover here. There's not much going for the Panthers. Teams like this at this time of year, they're kind of like, I don't want to say playing for the draft spot, but the Panthers are out of the playoffs. There's really not much for them to be playing for. I know it's everyone likes to play ruin the best team season, see what you can do, and try to maybe make Tampa Bay a 3 seed if that's a win-win for the Carolina Panthers, but I definitely like the Buccaneers to cover here. The 11's tough. I maybe tease this down a little bit.
Honestly, these double-digit spreads, they're just out of hand. Like, we're going to have another one here in a couple games with the Eagles and Giants. They're hard to take, like you said. I almost can't justify taking any of them, no matter what game it is.
They're all NFL. They're all professional athletes. It's hard to say that anyone's going to win a game by more than 2 possessions.
Exactly. Totally agree. Alrighty, next 1:00 game, we have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Houston Texans. Chargers coming in at 9.5-point favorite, money line at -400, and the over/under at 46. Los Angeles Chargers are 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 against Houston, and the total has gone over in 4 out of the Chargers' last 5 games.
I actually like the Chargers here -9.5. I don't know why they keep getting huge spreads, but like you said, they've been covering them. There's not much going for the Texans right now. Kind of same thing I said with the Panthers. They're not really playing for much, trying to figure themselves out for next year at this point. But it doesn't mean they don't want to, win this game in front of their home fans and stuff like that. So I don't think it'll be pretty, but I do like the Chargers to win this game by 10 or more.
I like that. I think they can make that happen. I don't think that's going to be a problem for them. Texans, they got a win last week. A couple losses before that, getting shut out by Indianapolis a few weeks ago. Let's see what happens here. I think the Chargers are going to be able to take care of it.
Yeah, there's not too many questionable guys. There's not too many injuries on the side of the ball for the Chargers. So Asante Samuel Jr. is still questionable, but he's been questionable for a couple of weeks. So I don't know if he's going to be playing, but Chargers coming off. I mean, they took it to the Chiefs. They took them to overtime. They lost in overtime. Travis Kelce balled out, 191 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, dude's hard to stop, that's for sure. But Chargers, I mean, they've looked good all season. I still don't know if I'm picking them to make the playoffs, but if they're going to be winning games like this, it's definitely going to keep it tight. But I like the Chargers minus 9.5 here.
Agree with that. And that's a good segue into our next game, the New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles coming into this game favorited at 10 points. Money line at minus 500 and the over-under at 41. The total has gone under in 7 out of the New York Giants' last 8 games. The Giants are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games against Philadelphia. And Philadelphia is 5-0 straight up in its last 5 games at home against the Giants.
I was just looking it up to see if Daniel Jones was back in this game. He's not. He's still on the injured reserve. The Eagles aren't worth a 10-point spread. Like, last night, they won by 10. I know they won by 10, but they were down 10-0 to the Washington football team with a third-string quarterback. Like, I don't know. Divisional game, I don't know if anyone's worth a 10-point spread.
You're right.
Give me the Giants to cover this. I just don't have faith in the Eagles at home. Last night they looked good. They were kind of spreading the ball around. Jalen Hurts showing that he's a very dual threat quarterback, getting 2 rushing touchdowns. I know one of them was a QB sneak, but he's looked good despite their struggles throughout the season. The Eagles are, I believe, 7-7. They're fighting for a playoff spot. So, but I do like the Giants to cover this game. I think the Eagles win. I just like the Giants maybe to cover this thing, maybe lose by 7 or 9.
It's 10 points. I agree. The Giants, we said at the beginning of the year, the Giants cover, and I think they fell off a little bit midway through the season, but
they hit a lot of injuries, yeah.
Right. So I think this is where they're going to make their comeback. Not that they're going to try to make be able to make a playoff run or anything like that, but they're going to show that they're still a team against these Beals Eagles.
Yeah. Beal, your Eagles are ass, even though they looked good last night, but I don't know. 10 points is too many points for this young offense in Philly. Not saying they're not going to win the game. I think that minus 500 money line's a lock if you want to take that, but definitely like the Giants maybe to cover this thing.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's move forward into our next 1 o'clock game, the Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. We got the Bengals coming in this game favorited at minus 2.5 points. The money line at minus 138 and the over-under at 44.5. The Ravens have covered the last 4 as the underdog. The total has gone under in 5 out of Baltimore's last 6 games on the road. And Cincinnati is 11-5 straight up in its last 16 games at home against Baltimore.
I have now been fucked on 2 bets by John Harbaugh trying to go for 2 and not succeeding at the end of a game to win it at the end of the game instead of forcing overtime.
He just loves it.
I had a teaser, Packers minus 1.5. They fucking win by 1. I wanted him to kick the extra point because I had absolute 100% confidence that the Packers would win that game in overtime. I thought they were going to get the ball, go right down the field. I mean, that's why Harbaugh did what he did and went for it, but I've now been fucked twice by Harbaugh's stupid decisions to go for 2 at the end of the game. The one time I actually had the Ravens, they could have kicked the extra point and won it in overtime against the Steelers. I liked them to do it there. This situation, I actually thought they were going to lose the game in overtime, so I definitely understand it more against the Packers. You don't want to give the ball back to Aaron Rodgers in that situation.
Couldn't agree more.
It's just in this kind of game, divisional matchup in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's leading the division, Baltimore in second place. It's a big game. This has a lot on the line for both of these teams. Tyler Huntley has been playing very well for the Ravens. A lot of people kind of counted the Ravens out once Lamar went down. I don't know, like, what are the Ravens' record? 8-6 versus 8-6. Bengals are first in the division. If the Ravens win this game, they're going to be first in the division. So, with the Bengals winning the first matchup. So, yeah, this is a huge game for both of these teams. From a Steeler fan standpoint, we definitely, I think, probably would rather see Baltimore win this game, but that's not what the question is. Both of these teams have just Baltimore, like you said, they've lost their last three, but they've been covering. Cleveland, they lost. They were down that big amount. Mackey had the Browns -2.5. They ended up losing by 2, covering 2.5. And then last week, I think the final spread was like 7. They lost by 1. But I don't know. The Ravens are just such an unpredictable team right now with how many injuries they have. Lamar questionable, Patrick Ricard questionable, Calais Campbell questionable. It's just tough to say right now. I like the over. I do. 44.5. I think both of these offenses are going to be scoring. I think it's going to be like 23-23, and then whoever wants to win the game, go ahead and do it.
Honestly, I think you're right. It's going to be right around that score. You're exactly right. Alrighty, good stuff. The next game we got is the Detroit Lions at the Atlanta Falcons. Got the Falcons favored at -6, the money line at -255, and the over/under at 42.5. Lions are 9-5 versus the spread, despite being 2-11-1 straight up. The total has gone under in 5 out of Detroit's last 6 games on the road. And Atlanta is 5-1 against the spread in its last 6 games against Detroit. So 2 not so great teams here.
Yeah, Falcons are better than their record looks. They've actually, I haven't watched many of their games, but they're definitely doing better than I usually have hoped for them. They're 6-8. They're definitely one of the better 6-8 teams, I'd say. They have a very kind of explosive offense with Cordell Patterson playing whatever position he wants to play. Pitts at the tight end position. Matt Ryan's having a good year with 3,300 yards, 18 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. If he could get that interception to touchdown ratio down a little bit, I think the Falcons win this game by more than. I like -6. It's looking like it's going to drop. I definitely like the Falcons in this game at home. Lions coming off a win. I don't know if I'm going to take them to win 2 weeks in a row. That's for damn sure. Let alone, I don't know if they're going to cover 6. Not that Atlanta's, like I said, one of the better teams in the NFL. I just think at home they're a different team, and we'll see what they can do here. I'd like a -6, but if it goes to 5.5, I'm definitely going to sneak in that 5.5.
I think that's a smart move, that taking that 5.5 there.
-6, sitting at -106. So we're gonna see some line changes throughout all across this board. But that's what we do, recording early. So some of them end up going in our favor, some of them don't. But stuff like that, I'd wait on that because that line's gonna drop. You're gonna be able to get the Falcons at possibly -4 by kickoff.
I like that. Love a -4. I'd take that. Alrighty, next we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the New York Jets. Jets coming in this game favored it at -2.5 points. The money line at -132 and the over/under at 41.5. Jags have not covered in their last 5 or in 10 out of their last 14. The total has gone over in the New York Jets' last 5 games against Jacksonville, as well as over in the Jets' last 5 games at home against Jacksonville.
These are literally the 2 worst teams in the NFL. I don't know. It kills me to say it. I think the Jaguars win this game. I don't know what the weather's going to be looking like in New York, but you could pick either one of these teams, and I'm going to say don't put your money on them. So do not bet on this game. I can't recommend that more than enough. But play that I do like, I might be teasing that under up a little bit and see what I can get around 46.5 with maybe a couple other bets.
And the weather for that game on Sunday is supposed to be mostly sunny with some chances of rain in the days before. So we will have to see what happens here. I think I like Jaguars. At least I like the Jaguars plus 112. I think that's some good value there.
Yeah, neither of these teams are worth a 2.5 point spread. Yeah, I always give, don't take.
And the over/under at 49.5. The Rams have not covered in their last 3 as the road favorite. And the Rams are 5-2 straight up in their last 7 on the road. Minnesota is 6-1 straight up in its last 7 games when playing at home against the Rams.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning towards the Vikings +3. I think they're a different team at home. I just looked at their last five. I mean, they lost to the Lions, but it was kind of a desperation throw at the end. Ended up working out for them. The Rams they're on a 3-game win streak, beating Seattle and Arizona, two huge divisional games for them, and then obviously they wiped the Jaguars 3 weeks ago. Um, as far as Minnesota goes, 3-2 in their past five as well, on a 2-game win streak, losing to Detroit and San Francisco, both on the road. Um, I do like the Vikings +3 here. I think this is a big game for Justin Jefferson, a big game for Dalvin Cook on the home field. The Vikings, it's a tough place to play. Rams haven't looked too good, even last night against Seattle. They were down 3-0 for most of the first half. And then they ended up tying and taking the lead. And once they took the lead, I knew they were going to win that game. I had a -3.5. I ended up getting it a little lower at a live bet, but they didn't look good the whole game. I really didn't think so. Cooper Kupp kind of sealed that game for them. But in this kind of situation, I like the home team here. Give me the Vikings as a home dog +3.
I like that a lot, really. The Rams have been playing, pretty good as of lately, but it's about time for them to slow down a little bit.
This next one's a good one.
Yeah, this next one, Buffalo Bills at the New England Patriots. This is the Mackey game of the week, even though he's not here. We have the Patriots favored at -2.5, the money line at -136, and the over/under at 43.5. Mackey really needs a Bills win here this week. The Patriots' 7-game win and cover streak ended in Indianapolis last week. The Pats won and covered the last 3 in Gillette Stadium. Also hit the over in those 3 games. Buffalo is 16-7 straight up in its last 23. And the total has gone over in 11 out of Buffalo's last 16 games on the road.
I actually like the Bills to win this game here. It's very tough to beat a divisional team twice. These are two of the better teams in the AFC, as everyone knows. The Bills kind of fell off a little bit. Last week, they kind of got things back on track against an inferior Carolina Panthers team, winning 31-14, covering that big spread easily. Patriots, they struggled with the Colts. They struggled getting the ball downfield. Mac Jones probably played his worst game of his season. 2 interceptions, I know for sure. One to end the first half when there should have been 3 points on the board at 17-0. And then another one to start the third quarter. That being said, at home, they're a different team on the road than they are at home. I actually like the Bills here to go in here and win this game.
I like that. Would you give them the 2.5? Or are you just going to take them +116? Would you?
If I was giving them points, I'd put it in a teaser and tease it up to like 4.5 just to be safe. But I think
that's
they
a
win
great
the game.
idea. I think that's a great idea.
I think the hype's catching up to the Patriots. A lot of people are figuring out their offense. I know Belichick's still coaching them, and I mean, if anyone's going to make adjustments, it's him. But it's not Tom Brady anymore. I know it's Mac Jones. He's looked good. He's the offensive rookie of the year, but still got to deal with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and this Buffalo Bills offense. I know the Patriots defenses look good, but I mean, first half last week they looked terrible. So I don't know. I'm not ready to say start fading the Patriots, but I think this game is going to be a lot harder than that Colts game was, and them losing that game, it tells me I think that the Buffalo Bills are going to be able to go into New England and get a win here.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Alrighty, and our first 4:00 game on Sunday is the Chicago Bears at the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks coming in this game favorited by -6.5 points. The over/under at 43.5, and the money line at -295. The Bears have not covered their last 5 or in 8 out of their last 9, so not covering at all as of lately. The total has gone over in 8 out of Chicago's last 10 games against Seattle, and Seattle is 5-1 straight up in its last 6 games at home against Chicago.
I'm a Seahawk fan, and I don't think they deserve a 6.5 point spread. But like you just said, the Bears haven't been covering anything, so I'm going to lean towards Russ. We'll give him Russ the having to win by 6.5. I like the Seahawks here at home. As far as that over/under goes, I'd probably think this game goes under. I could see Seattle win this game like literally 16-7 or some stupid score like that.
I think you're right. So 6.5 points is high, but I think Russ can take care of it. Money line -295. No value there. And over under 43.5. That's a tough one. That's like right in the middle of where I'm really not sure about that one.
Yeah, it's just tough taking. Like I said, if you're gonna give Seahawks the points with the under, it's again you need it to be 10-0 at halftime, and that's like the odds of that happening. Even against the Seahawks, don't have a good defense. The Bears aren't a good team. They haven't been covering, but that organization they're not happy with their coach right now. You saw the video of Justin Fields like crying on the sidelines, whatever it was hilarious. But nothing's going for the Bears right now. I'll take the Seahawks at home minus 6.5.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Alrighty, moving forward, we have the Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders. Sunday at 4:30, we got the Raiders favored at minus 1.5, the money line at minus 124, and the over/under at 41.5. The total has gone under in 7 out of Denver's last 8 games, and Las Vegas is 5-0 straight up and against the spread in its last 5 when playing at home against Denver.
The Raiders they beat the Browns last week against a third-string quarterback, but it didn't look good. Only scoring 16 points, needing a last-second field goal. They were down 14-13. They needed that last-second field goal to win it. Going back home to Vegas, divisional matchup. It's a tough one. I think the Broncos might have won the initial matchup when they played each other earlier on in the year. I could be wrong on that. I'm going to look that up real quick. These are two 7-7 teams. It's just tough. The Raiders actually won the initial one in Mile High. That's when the Raiders were on a nice little streak there for a little bit. But it's another one. I like the Broncos here. Go into Vegas and get a win here. Plus 106. Plus 1.5 doesn't really see too much value for me. I think it's just tough right now with the Broncos. Teddy Bridgewater left the game last week. What's it called? They unscrewed his face mask or something. He has like a pretty serious concussion, so he's considered doubtful for this game. You might as well just rule him out because I don't think he's going to be playing. So it's looking like it's going to be Drew Lock. It's the quarterback for the Denver Broncos. Still a lot of question marks on the side of the ball for the Raiders with their star tight end Darren Waller. He's still out. Will Compton, their linebacker, he's going to be out. Perriman, the linebacker, he's out. Jonathan Abram, the safety, is questionable. It's just tough with not much going for the Raiders right now. They got an ugly win last week against a Browns team that was struggling with COVID, and I think this week the Broncos are able to go in there and get a win.
Alrighty, and moving on to another Sunday 4:30 game, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs coming into this game favored at an even 7 points, money line at minus 335, and the over/under at 44. Tomlin is 5-3 as the underdog, and 13-5 in the last 18 as an underdog. The total has gone under in 4 out of Pittsburgh's last 5 games when playing on the road against Kansas City, and Pittsburgh is 6-2 straight up in its last 8 games against Kansas City. So playing very good late overall against the Chiefs. But what do you think about this year?
Yeah, like I said, like we said earlier on, the odds at this line stays the same going into kickoff are super thin. If you think guys like Kelsey and Hill are going to play in this game and you like the Chiefs, I would definitely get them at -7 before they're ruled that they're going to be playing in this game. But if they're ruled out, I definitely can see this game going to Chiefs -3.5 or 4. And if you like the Steelers at +7, you think they're going to play the same thing, you got to predict that line. It's called gambling for a reason, but I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything on this game. There's too many question marks going for both teams right now. At 7, I do like the Steelers to go in there and cover, but the Chiefs to win the game. The play, I'm not too confident in that. The play I really like is over 44. If everyone plays, I love over 44. And that will go up, but I might have to hit that now and kind of assess that later on in the week. If Kelsey and Hill are playing, I think the Chiefs can put up 28, and I think the Steelers can hang easy 17. Chiefs don't have that good of a defense, you know what I mean? If we can get things rolling, 27-17, I think that's 44 right there. So, I don't know. It's just tough. I mean, I literally just predicted a fucking push. I hate that I did that, but maybe 28-17, just kind of get an extra point up there. But I don't know. I could either see the Chiefs kind of rolling us, maybe 34-10, kind of a struggle, or, like I said, a close game and the Steelers cover this thing.
I like that over 44 now that you're saying that. Again, there's just so much up in the air this week, especially with this game. It's so hard to know, what's going to happen between now, it's Wednesday morning, and Sunday when this game finally kicks off.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. And Sunday primetime game, we have the Washington football team at the Dallas Cowboys. Got the Cowboys favorited at minus 10.5, the money line at minus 500, and the over-under at 47.5. The total has gone under in 7 out of Washington's last 8 games. And the total has gone over in 5 out of Dallas's last 5 games when playing at home against Washington.
All right. Another big spread here. Washington could be getting a couple guys back. Hopefully they're going to get Heineke back for this game. I don't know. It's a tough spread here. Divisional matchup, like I always say, I don't think anyone deserves a 10-point spread in a divisional matchup. So I'll take Washington to cover this thing. I mean, I'm not too confident in that play, but if everyone's back, I think that they can kind of stay with Dallas. I think Dallas wins the game, but if we're talking 10 points, I'll give the underdog 10 points.
I like that, Huff. And along with that, I like the under. I think the under is going to hit between these two clubs. Like you said, I like Washington to cover as well. I think that'll be beneficial to my under. So give me Washington football team in the under.
I like that. It's a shitty Monday night game.
Yeah, it is. Very, very no good. Miami Dolphins at the New Orleans Saints. We got the Saints favorited at minus 3, the money line at minus 172, and the over-under at 38.5. Miami is 5-0 straight up in its last 5 games. 5-1 against the spread in their last 6. New Orleans is 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 games against Miami.
It's a tough game. Saints are a good team at home. Dolphins on that hot streak. I don't know if I'm ready to fade the Dolphins yet, but I just don't have any faith, and I don't know. It's a really tough. It's really a coin flip. If Taysom Hill can play like he played last week, I'm not saying he played a great game, but I mean they shut out the Buccaneers. I know that's major props to the Saints defense. If their defense can play like that against Miami, I think they'll have no problem winning this game. It's just a tough game. I don't know. I'll take say Saints minus 3 just for sake of conversation, but it probably won't be on my card. I think Kamara is able to have a good game at home. Kind of all the other pieces on the Saints team. They do have a good defense, and they do have, like I said, Alvin Kamara is always going to be there. As long as he's running the ball and catching passes out of the backfield, I definitely like their chances.
I gotta agree with you there on the Saints minus 3.
I wish it was 2.5, but it looks like it's going to 3.5.
Right. Just so weird. I thought this. I mean, I think this is the right spread for this game. I don't think it's out of proportion by any means.
That over-under's whack.
Yeah, 38.5.
I don't know what they know that we don't know, but I like the over.
Yeah, I like the over as well.
It'll be 13-10. Push in, fucking under.
Right? The Saints are going to shut out the Dolphins. Something crazy.
I was going to say that. They shut out 2 teams back-to-back. I don't know if that's ever been done. I'm sure it has, but...
Right.
The odds of it happening, especially against the defending Super Bowl champions. Yeah, I'll take Saints minus 3. I'm not too confident in that play, but I like Saints minus 3. Alrighty, in this section, or this portion of the podcast where we usually announce the picks for the week. This week, obviously, as you can hear, Mackie is not with us. But that being said, we're going to actually do something a little different this week with the state of the NFL right now. With all the COVID going on around the league, and we don't really know when these games are going to be played. There's a couple question marks already with the Chiefs and Steelers. That's just to name one of the 16 games this week. We're going to be announcing the picks Saturday morning, probably around noon Saturday morning on Christmas. I'm going to release the card, little Christmas present for the followers, see what I can do for you guys this week. That way we can get Mackey's picks too. Kind of have a full card for you guys this week, and stay tuned to the Instagram. We're going to do a little NBA Christmas Day special for you guys, make some picks for those games. Heavy slate of NBA on Christmas Day. We got 2 NFL games, but with the state that everything's in right now with the COVID stuff, we're just going to kind of take a couple days, see what these lines do, and make our picks Saturday morning at noon.
Yeah, I'm really happy with what we decided to do this week. We're going to take our time and make sure we get everything right, both with the NFL and the NBA. Hopefully we can have some NHL coming back here shortly, but I'm hearing a lot of people saying otherwise.
I think the first NHL game back, if we're lucky, is going to be the Winter Classic on New Year's Day.
I think you're right.
They're not going to miss that.
No, they can't.
They have too much money spent in that already. They can't delay that.
Alrighty, and that's going to do it, I think, for us there this week. Stay tuned to the Instagram. We're going to have a lot of posts this weekend on that, on the NFL and NBA stuff. So look forward to it.
Yeah, might have to throw out a little Instagram live on Saturday. Maybe if none of us are too busy on Christmas, get a little sports talk in before the games start at noon for NBA and 4 o'clock for this the NFL slate. Got 2 games on Saturday, so definitely stay tuned to the Instagram if you're not too busy on Christmas Day. Have a good Christmas, everyone. We're getting now to the end of the year, into the football season, Week 16. Let's see what we can do here.
Yes, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and we'll talk to you next week.
And that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Hit the Books Podcast. Be sure to check us out on our various social media platforms. Instagram at hitthebooks.pod, Twitter at hitthebooks_pod, website at hitthebookspod.com for all the latest on Hit the Books. And be sure to always study hard.
Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.